Warning, this video contains music, opinions. Alright everybody, that was a quick little salute to the fallen hero of JDF. Big inspirations for myself and Robert. When I say big, I mean like humongous, hole in our hearts. Just wanted to pay a little tribute. So today on the palette was an album that I suggested we do, and then we have another one that Robert suggested. But this one is Numb by CHASER. Not a really big band, but they are a solid band. Like, they're solid. This album is from 2006, so it was like definitely in the middle of that like Bush punk era where everybody's writing songs about Bush and stuff.
Oh yeah. Only 5 years removed from.
It's very political. Yep,
so
very political.
definitely.
Very political. So if you weren't around for then, you might not understand the significance it had at the time, but this is one I wish I had heard when I was 16.
I kind of feel like if you didn't tell me, other than the way it sounded, the like Pennywise kind of sound it's got to it.
That's a good
if
comparison.
you told me it was released recently, I'd kind of believe it, because they don't like name drop Bush or anything. They don't talk about the Iraq War, so a lot of the stuff and a lot of the songs they talk about is very relevant to today.
Yep.
Still.
Yep. It's what they're talking about is just paying attention to your system, and that's something that unfortunately since 2006 has not seemed to change. But getting into the songs, first off is New Beginning, and we will start playing some of these tunes while we're talking about them. This one is a cool little acoustic diddly that are at the tail end turns into what you're actually going to hear for the rest of the album, and I think it's pretty cool. Very punk rock thing to do. Just it's 1 minute 30 seconds.
It's a lot like that. Well, not quite as. Kind of reminded me of how Curbside Saints did their little intro before Never Back Down.
And funny enough, one song you might not expect to be on this skater punk album is on here, and and so it actually kind of sounds like that, but it goes into Status. Any thoughts on Status?
Hits you right in the face, especially after that New Beginning intro. You sort of get that little build up right at the tail end, and then it's just bah!
I know, it just kicks off fast tempo.
Kicks off from there. And
this is a band that you're not going to see any like MIDI effects in the album. It is two guitars, a vocalist, a bassist, a drummer, and like they just out there playing songs.
And they're not singing into an echo chamber, though.
Yeah. So it is pretty cool. Next up is Numb. So my second favorite song on the album. It is the title song to the album.
It's definitely my favorite original on the album. Of course, it's the title track. But
okay. Now that's funny. I didn't know if you'd like what they did. I figured you'd like it, but I didn't know to what scale. So
no. Yeah.
So that's
we'll
funny.
Feed you baby birds.
This one is so just Bad Religion, like, and Pennywise is a very good. Like, it starts. The whole song is just catchy. The whole thing is just very catchy.
Yeah, I like how the intro's a little different. It's not just back to back hard hitting songs. It gets up tempo, but it's different from Status.
And when we get to the end of the CD and what we think about the whole thing, I've got some more to talk about that. But yeah, Numb. This song is the namesake of the album. A lot of times, I don't necessarily love when bands do that, but it works for this, because I think the song itself is so. It's got a lot of pieces in the song, even though they're all simple. If
you just heard this song, you could get a pretty good feel for what the rest of the album is going to be about.
Yep. Yeah, the lyrics in it are really cool. It says, "Go exercise your First Amendment rights because in Numb America you don't have any rights." So, like, if you really break down the lyrics, it's really cool. I love it. It's basically just saying, be active, man. If you believe in something, go stand for it. Because if you don't do anything at all, then you're not going to have anything. So, just a good lesson. Next up, California Redemption. This is more of your thrashy, typical skater punk. It's a punk band, so they gotta have a California song. That's just the rules. I don't make them up, people. I'm sorry. Like, that's just how it is.
Gotta have that song about California.
This one, I think you
just one Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes,
just one.
Just
That's
one.
all it takes.
So, like I said, I think the song isn't like my favorite, and it's not going to be the most standout. I think it's just a good little thrashy punk jam. It's really good. And they really don't overplay this hand too much, which you would think they might. AFI tends to do that in their early stuff, where every song sounds like this. But it's just a good little song, California Redemption. Good song. Next up, this might be my third favorite. I don't know why. It's just, I found myself when I was listening, because I normally listen to these several times if I'm at work or something, to really get a feel for it, whatever album we're talking about. I just found myself, and I usually try to go into these things kind of blind or not expecting anything. And this is one of those, every time I knew it was coming up, I was excited. I don't know why. I don't really have any, it's just a good guitar line.
Oh, yeah, that's what, the riff. I really liked the riff. It was different than the first few songs on the album, and this was actually the song that I was listening to the first 4 tracks, and I was like, yeah, good punk. Number 5 is the one where I really was like, wow, this reminds me of Pennywise.
Yep. But yeah, I tell people, Numb America, Autopilot, Mind the Masses, these are like some of the ones you have to listen to. Like, this is going to be on like I have a playlist on Spotify called Omnia, which is basically just my playlist of everything I like. No genre. It's like days long at this point. But just a good song, Autopilot. It definitely keeps the lyrics with the same theme as the album. Good riff, just a good punk riff. So I like it. It's this one sounds very Bad Religion-y. So next up, this is Set It Off. Robert, you seem to really like this one.
Set It Off?
Yep. How'd you talk about this one?
Set It Off, Know Your Way. I like them both. They both did kind of feel the most alike.
Yeah, this one does.
To me.
I think it meant to. I think it definitely meant to, because they fade into each other. So I get what you're saying. I didn't notice it, but I get what you're saying. They definitely are the same tempo-ish.
Definitely good.
Set Off, like I said, not my favorite or anything. Next up, Know Your Way, number 7. I'm going to surprise you here, because you just said they both sounded like, this is my favorite song on the album. I don't know why. This is my favorite song on the album out of all of it. It's just, I don't know. It just reminds me of our song 8 Ball. Like, it's just got that catchy punk feel. It's just upbeat. The guitars kind of move. I love the melody. I love the melody, verse and chorus. So, and like I said, we don't talk to each other about these albums before we do them. So, surprise, this is my favorite song. I don't know why. It's good. Numb America is definitely good. I think it's my second favorite, but this is my favorite song by far and away. Catchy lyrics, a good punk song. They did a good job of not making it sound like everything else on the whole album, which is nice. All right, I'm gonna let you do number 8, the next song.
Oh yeah, okay, number 8. This one, I'm looking through the album, and I scanned the track list like 2 or 3 times, and still didn't catch it until I was actually sitting down to get my notes together and everything on it.
Let me pause you 1 second. Whenever I suggested this album, it was because of this song. I actually wanted you to hear this. All right, go get it.
I saw it said Dust in the Wind, and I was like, there's no fucking way. They just named it Dust in the Wind, and it's not going to have anything to do. And as soon as I hit play on that track and oh my god, I was like, no, is it going to be like this the whole time? And then when it kicks up after that first the first measure, or however, once it kicks up and kicks in and they just keep going and it's just a full-fledged punk cover of Dust in the Wind, I was like, I had actually kind of like, I listened to the original like so many times in my life. Like, I never disliked the song, but it wasn't exactly, I didn't have any desire to keep jamming it again. But I heard this version and I loved the song all over again.
I know, like, same way. It's
fantastic cover. I would prefer to listen to this cover than the original, hands down.
Yeah, it's the like walking up and it's kind of like the harmonizing guitars for me in this. They do a real good job of they kind of simplified it for punk, but it works. They definitely made it more just power chordy, like, you know, because it's a Kansas song, so Kansas songs are pretty, but they just
definitely my favorite over just song on the album, but that's just because it's a cover and it was completely unexpected.
Yeah.
Versus what the rest of it was unexpected because of what the rest of the album is about, but it's still, even this seemingly random cover, listening to the lyrics of this song, revisiting this song after hearing it my whole life, and then why they chose this song to be on this particular album was looking at this Dust in the Wind song a whole new way now.
It is funny. I cannot believe you actually stole my train of thought. But it was funny that I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, this song was written one way by Kansas, just as an all-encompassing, life is short, just enjoy it. But when you put it in the context of this CD and they say we're all just dust in the wind, it really turns it into like a semi-political view, which is funny to me.
It's in a whole new way, and it's like I said, it's like rediscovering the song almost, like falling in love with it all over again.
It's just like in this context of the album, when they're saying get involved with your government or your leaders or whatever, and then they also turn around and say we're just dust in the wind. That's putting even more importance on why you should join with things, because there's a short time on this planet, so make it better while you can. So it's just funny that they turned something so, you know, so just pristine and just a nice little all-encompassing song into that. Next up, World of Routine. Not my favorite. Not a bad song. Just not my favorite. But I don't have too much to say. It's just a good punk song.
Good song. I didn't have any particular notes on that one either.
And I'll go ahead and preface this for me, because I really won't have much to say, and they might wonder why. The rest of the album is fine for me. I mean, none of these are going to be my favorite. They're all good songs. Don't get me wrong. They're good songs. They're good punk songs. You like punk?
Great Unknown.
I think that was the one I was going to say.
I love the woes. The woes.
Yeah.
Every time I hear those woes, I just think of Chase.
Yes.
And his hatred for the woes.
It's a punk man, so they got to have them. But that number 10 is The Great Unknown. Number 9 was World of Routine. Solid punk songs. They're not bad. It's just, I think it's because everything before it was just so off the charts good for me that it was hard. The bar was set so high. But I guess that's probably why they put these at the end of the album too. Next up is Business Plan. Yeah.
That's my notes on this song.
I liked the drums in this, which is funny. You don't hear that much in punk bands because a lot of it's just that on the and beat of ta ta ta. But just a good little. I like the drums in this. This one's more, like you said, the business-oriented version of what they're trying to say. Next up, Existence is All We Have.
Really liked the lyrics for this song.
This is why I said
words, set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, short and sweet.
And it works well because they did Dust in the Wind.
Yes.
So the topic of existence is all we have, and then Dust in the Wind being on the same album was really cool to me. This is just another good punk song. Like I said, and the lyrics on all these last songs are solid. So that's why I say you should listen to the whole album, because even though maybe they're not going to be your favorite songs in the album, this is another album that's meant to be consumed. And so just listen to the lyrics for
it's only like 45, 46 minutes.
Yeah.
You guys, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Next up is Backup. All the Arms We Need. Arms We Need. So it's like back up all the arms we need. So it's just it's a little funny title because it's meant to be like force. It starts low with just acoustic guitar and the singer. Then it definitely kicks back up to that fast punk feel. And then last,
I like how they ended out that song too.
Oh yeah, I'll skip to that part. They did good on. They did really good on all this stuff. Yeah, so I don't know, but their unison chanting at the end is really nice. And then the last.
Really, this was it was funny lyrics. I like this. The title alone, I was just like, wow, that really reminds me of if you've ever been a local musician in kind of I'm not really saying the Murfreesboro scene was mediocre, but it was definitely struggling, trying to compete with Nashville and all the other places.
Yeah,
if you've ever been in a scene like that, it may not be the same as being in the OC scene, but I can definitely relate to the lack thereof.
Yep.
Of the music scene.
For them, I'm assuming what they mean is because by 2006, most of the big bands that had come from Orange County had made their way, but I guess not that many had kept going. So I'm assuming they're probably talking about, this is one of those that's not really like, I guess this is their venting song, but I'm assuming what they meant was the scene was dying in a place that was prestigious for basically the exact album that they're putting out. So that kind of music was just all over there. But overall, and I'll probably let Autopilot play while we're saying this, because my favorite's the third favorite. But thoughts on the album, I'll go first since I recommended it. Overall, out of a 5, this is like 4.5, if not a 5 for me. I just love this album. Like I said, even though there are what I call skipper songs in this a little bit, there is some solid 5 out of 5 bangers on here that I know people have not heard. I know you haven't heard it because I've never heard anyone be like, Chaser is my favorite band. This is
it was definitely a first for me. They sounded familiar. Sure, listening to my random Spotify made playlist that like they make for me that I used to listen to before I made my own, I'm sure it came up a few times along with all my other Bad Religion, Pennywise, stuff like that. But I definitely never sat down and heard it, and never knew that anybody did a punk Dust in the Wind cover.
Say, I got you.
Hitting that one alone was just like, all right, I don't care if the rest of the album sucks. I'm here for it.
Out of 5, I'm going to press you here. What would you consider this? Because I want to know, because I recommended this because I knew this was that band you had not heard of, or an album you hadn't heard of.
This album definitely, I give it a 4 out of 5.
See,
there was only like 1 or 2 songs that I probably found that I not exactly like super memorable. It's like not like I'm gonna memorize the whole album.
Yeah, mine.
But it's full of some bangers, especially if you enjoy punk music even a little bit.
If we're stuck on like stars, which I want to be, I guess 4 would be my rating, but it's technically like a 4.5, almost 5. But I want to save my 5s for like just absolutely stellar stuff. But yeah, overall, guys, please listen to it. They are, and this is why one reason I want to do this album. They are releasing new music. Then they have been. They did take a little bit of a break, but they're back now. So, and I'm pretty excited for that. And
it might make you want to play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater also.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. Thank you for watching this Real Twisted review of Chaser, Numb America, 2006 album. Go follow the band and all their social medias. Go to their shows. I know they're touring. They got a new album coming out. And God bless you, JDF. And we will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone for checking out another Real Twisted review. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. See you in the next one.